Okay, so let's get talking about carbohydrates. You saw the little introduction there, and now let's just get into the practical aspect of what they are, what they do, and all the pieces of them. You can actually see right here, that this is actually an example of a carbohydrate. You can see maybe there it says starch. And as we said before, there's components. There's all these pieces here that actually make up the carbohydrate. Okay, sorry, make my pen a little smaller. Okay, those are the subunits. And don't forget that the term for these subunits, the term is monomer. Monomer. Okay? Those are the building blocks. Those are the smallest part of our carbohydrate here. Okay? And then they will come together to form an entire structure, which is called a polymer. Now in carbohydrates, these have another name here, and we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to get a sense of what carbohydrates are exactly. Feel free to write those terms down. Feel free to hit pause at any time or come back. I'm going to keep on rolling here for those people who are doing okay with the speed. Okay, so carbohydrates, what they are, or what they do, why don't we start there, is they have many, many functions, but realistically we're going to concentrate on two. These are actually, the many might be an exaggeration. Energy, that is their main function. They are our main source of energy. And that is a really, really good thing. It can also be a bad thing in some ways, as we'll see here. The way we measure energy, they provide us with calories. Calories. Now, calories are not objects. Calories are a way to measure energy. And you could measure any kind of energy. And there's different unit. There's actually also joules or kilojoules. The calories that you refer to are actually kilocalories. Whoop. Close that. And none of that's really important for us. It is energy. There are also storage forms of energy, and that's really these big molecules. The bigger the molecule, you start talking about storing energy. They do have another use as well, which is that they are structural. Okay? And so in plants, as you saw in the intro to the video, there is a compound called cellulose. Cellulose. And cellulose makes up all of the cell's cell wall. Now, we haven't done cell structure yet, but essentially each cell is compartmentalized into a kind of a box. And that box is the cell wall. So that is a structural use, and that is in no small part of the world. That is not a small part of the world. All plants, all the stuff that you see, that is cellulose. And, you go to burn wood, that is cellulose that you're actually burning there. Okay, so those are really the functions. Again, I can't stress this enough, that they are our energy source. Now, if you don't use them, they do get converted into storage forms, some of which are better for you than others, let's say. But let's talk about what they are here. Okay? These are the simple sugars. Carbohydrates are simple sugars. You know what sugar is. You would know sugar if you tasted it. We talked about it in the intro. I don't want that. Sorry. But what we have here are monosaccharides. So there's our first really big term here. Now, monosaccharides, let's break this down a little bit. The first part is pretty easy. Mono means one. Okay, that's what that specifically means. Now, saccharide is a little bit trickier for some people. Don't let it fool you. I guess it's just the science nature in me that it actually isn't that hidden in here. That saccharide refers to sugar, really. Okay, so our monosaccharides are our single sugars, so our one sugar. There is an artificial sweetener called saccharin, and the saccharide right here has that root. Okay. Sorry, somebody's walking through right now. So keep that in mind as you go. That if you see that saccharide, that's going to refer to a sugar of some sort. Okay? And then if we put two of them together, we have our small root disaccharide. So di means two. Okay, so you have your monosaccharides, you have your disaccharides. Now let's just look at the names here. So a monosaccharide, the probably most important one is glucose. Please know what glucose is and that it is a monosaccharide because we are going to use it in other aspects. Other little less common, maltose isn't nearly as common as that, and then something called galactose. Sorry. I don't know what that is. It's trying to update me, but I don't want it or need it right now. It'll probably come up a couple more times. So glucose, maltose, and galactose are monosaccharides. Notice the ending, that they have the OSE ending. And so those are sugars. If you see OSE, assume it is a sugar. Our disaccharide, really two examples. I didn't put the other one on here. Sucrose is, as it says, table sugar. That's the stuff you put, I don't know, in your coffee, on your cereal, whatever it is. Hopefully you're not using too much of it. But table sugar is a disaccharide. There's actually another disaccharide called lactose. Which is milk sugar. Okay, and that is, in fact, the sugar you find in milk that some people have a hard time breaking down. Now, all a disaccharide is you take two monosaccharides and you hook them together. Okay, sucrose, I believe, is just glucose and maltose. I take one of these and I hook it with one of those, and I get sucrose. And then lactose obviously has lactose in it, and that's paired up with glucose as well. So if I wanted that, I'd hook those together. Okay, my drawing's starting to get a little messy there. But all that it's two units bonded together, and we'll build saccharides or polysaccharides and disaccharides in just a minute here.